Life is serious. We're here to instruct, to grow, to learn, and to get the best we possibly can. It's important because some people do really well while others struggle. So let's think about that carefully. Winning or losing, succeeding or failing, it all matters. We need to take our future seriously for ourselves and for our family. That's why the first step to having a great year is to get serious. Study, learn, grow, change, and develop. Don't forget to learn from your experiences. If you want to solve problems and seize opportunities, you need to keep learning. We cannot just give you a plan and expect everything to work out. We have to spend time learning and improving when things don't go well. Don't give up. Learn from it and try again. This is how life changes for the better, by educating ourselves. Don't be lazy when it comes to learning and growing. That's why you've heard from people sharing their stories and ideas. Learning is the key to wealth and change. So let's learn. Make our dreams come true and get smarter together. A few things, simple disciplines, practice every day, and you're started a whole new process, a whole new life. And if you keep up that process, not only with your health habits, but with your money habits, your communication habits, your sales habits, management habits, and every other habit that you've got, if you will start that process, eliminate the errors and replace it with discipline, practiced, I'm telling you, you can start this process of life change immediately. After today, you don't ever have to be the same again, only by chance. Errors and judgments, a few simple disciplines, wealth beyond imagination. Let the miracle of everything that's available work for you and start working on the inside. Work on your philosophy, work on your attitude, work on your personality, work on your language, work on a gift of communication, work on all your abilities. And if you will start making those personal changes, I'm telling you, everything will change for you. Work on yourself, then you bring more value to the partnership, to the marriage, to the franchise, to the corporation, to the enterprise, to the community, to the nation. Self-development, personal development. The best contribution you can make to someone else is self-development. Not hasty if it's not required, but don't lose much time. Here is the time to act. When the idea is hot and the emotion is strong, that's true time to act. Don't use the excuses they use. It's called the language of the poor. Switch gears, switch language, switch ideas, switch strategy. Start with the simplest disciplines and the many of those disciplines. The smallest of disciplines starts by the process of life change. And if you will invest in the thing called discipline, you can have whatever you wish. It's called the beginning of a miracle. If you will get better, everything will get better for you. What a clear message that was for me, he said. If you will change your philosophy, if you will change your habits, if you refine your thinking, if you will change and accept some new disciplines, if you will turn the corner where you've been in the past, go for a new life, for the future, he said. All kinds of remarkable things will happen for you if you will change. Here's what we must learn to do. I didn't go for a work and try to change circumstances. I want to work to try to change myself. And I picked up that promise. My teacher shared with me that if I would change, my income would change. If I would change, my bank account would change. If I would change, my future would change also. And sure enough, his promise came true for me. The companies were about the same. What they paid was the same. Some circumstances around me were the same. My negative relatives were the same, but I wasn't the same. That's how my life changed. Things started working for me, changing my life of all those years ago. We don't have to change what's going out there. That's the wind that's blowing. All we have to do is change what's going on in here and now. There are several ways to that. The first subject is called personal development. We must learn from personal experience. Pretty simple. Learn from what happens to you. Take a look back over the last few months. Did you make some mistakes? How could you correct those for the future? Take a look back over the last year. Have you done it right? Have you done it wrong? Let's correct it for the next year. Mr. Schaff asked me when I first met him. He said, Mr. Rohn, how are you doing? We've been out here now for 6 years. And I said, I'm not doing well. He said, I suggest you not to do it anymore more. What a simple, swift analysis to my situation. He said, if you keep doing it, the next 6 years will be like the last 6. You don't want to that happen. Let's make the changes. So learn from your personal experience. Second, other people's experience. That's me. Other people, that's your teacher, that's your friends and colleagues. The people you meet, they can pass along to your experiences. What's happened to them, the mistakes they made, how they corrected them, and how they changed their health and changed their bank account and changed their income and changed their future. Now, there are two kinds of people to learn from. One is failures. It's too bad failures don't give seminars, right? That would be valuable. Have them tell you how they lost it all and threw it all away, threw their health away and threw their friendship away, and things didn't work well out. That would be valuable. But now then we must learn from positive people that have done well. They have got the health. So we ask them, how did you become so healthy? They've got the skills. So we ask them, how did you become that skillful? They've got the income. And so we ask them, how did you get here in such a short period of time? So now here's what's important in personal development. In learning from other people, we learn, number one, by observation. We learn what we see. We watch people that are successful in what they do. In sports, we watch their disciplines. In business, we watch their disciplines. Second, we learn by what we hear, learn by listening, and then listen to someone in Sunday morning, listen to the lectures, listen to the teacher, listen to someone who's got something good to say. And then number three is vitally important to personal development, and that's read all the books. All the books you can possibly read in your lifetime. Mr. Schaff got me started on my library. I've got one of the better libraries, and then I started keeping a journal. One of the major things my teacher taught me was to keep a journal. He said, don't trust your memory. If you hear something good, you make a little notes and write it down. So I would suggest you do the same thing that impresses you. A poem that impresses you when you attend a class. Some of the ideas that impress you, jot them down. You read something in magazine, write some ideas, take those out, put them in your journal. Keep a good journal the rest of your life. This will serve you well. So I want the same thing to happen to you. Value capture that you could resort so later. Go back over it and review it and let it become valuable to you. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job. Develop the skill, learn the lessons, and take the classes. Observe all that is being taught to you these days. And then later on, of course, you can sort it out what's valuable to you and how to refine it for your business and for your life and for your future. But the main thing is to get it and start this process of personal change. Now, let's cover the second, setting goals. You want to take a look into the future. In setting goal, it's very simple. Number one, decide what you want. Just take a little time, sit down and say, what do I want? What kind of skill do I need? What kind of income do I want for the future? Where would I like to go? Places I'd like to visit, habits I'd like to acquire, skills I'd like to have, economics, friendship, people you'd like to meet. When you've thought about what you want for the future, make a list. If the future gets clear and the price gets easier, because you've got to remember, for every promise there is a price to pay. Everybody got to pay the price. Everybody got to do the deal. Everybody got to do disciplines. But here is what I've discovered. If the promise is clear and powerful, the price is easy to pay. The first part of the key is to design the promise. Then what's the price to pay? I'm telling you, the price will be easy if you will make a promise for the future, clear for yourself of all the values of life you could possibly want, and be serious about it. I promise you, it's an easy price to pay. Anybody can pay it. And the best advice I can give you is, if I can't do it, you can do it. Start setting your goals and see if you can't get the better excitement going for the thing you want to accomplish for the future. One of the major reasons for setting goals is for what they make of you in achieving them. My teacher advised me when I first started at the age of 25. He said, Jim, why did you set a goal to become a millionaire? I'm here to help you. And he said, here for what I will make you to achieve it. Set the kind of goals that will make someone of you to achieve it. So part of the key here is to set the kind of goals that will make something of you. Don't set them too low so that you don't have to grow and don't have to read and you don't have to try and you don't have to stretch. Don't set them too low and then don't sell out. Don't go for something that that you're gonna cost your virtue or cost you your value or sell out your principle. There is a good middle road here to follow goals that will inspire, goals that will help you grow, change, develop, and become better than you. So if you want something to pull you through all kinds of challenges, all kinds of difficulties, and things that can calm you, you've got to have something out there beyond today, beyond next week, beyond next month, beyond this year that pulls you into the future. And clear it is. The stronger it pulls, the more dynamic it is. The more it affects your life, your spirit, your heart, your soul. It also creates imagination. It gets your mind working on how to achieve that purpose. And if your mind will work, and if your heart works, and if your spirit works, and if you have good inputs, like good ideas, I'm telling you, there isn't anything you cannot accomplish. Ideas gather dust. You know, they don't produce it all by themselves. It's like philosophy. It's not the end. Philosophy is the beginning. Philosophy must be invested. When I talked about philosophy, attitude, and discipline, they must be invested. And if you invest philosophy and attitude in disciplines, then they produce results. Now, here's all what you got to do. Turn that around. Have a simple discipline practice every day starts to create success. Not at the end of the first day. The first day is at the end of your beginning. Every new discipline affects the rest. Every new discipline makes a difference. That's why action is so important. The simplest action, the last action, the action that you won't work and think will matter. It all matters. Take it. Because when you start accomplishing and value starts to return, you will find inspiration to do the next one and the next one and the next one. But for this whole process to work for us, we must first master the art of discipline. Self-discipline, consistent self-discipline. It doesn't really matter how smart you are and how much you know. If you don't use it, it doesn't really matter. Then you graduated. If you're stuck in a low-paying job, it doesn't really matter if you attend every seminar that comes to down. If you don't apply what you've learned, better the knowledge is applied the knowledge. And once you've applied our knowledge, we must study the result of the process. Apply our knowledge, apply our study the results, refine our approach. Finally, by trying and observing and refining and trying again, our knowledge will inevitably produce worthy results, admirable results. And with the joy and result of our efforts, we continue to apply, to learn, to observe, and to fuel our ambition. With the positive reinforcement of continued process, pretty soon we will find that we're swept into a spiral of achievement and vertical rise to success. It takes consistent self-discipline to master the art of setting goals, to master the art of time management, and master the art of leadership, to master the art of partnering and relationships. If we don't make consistent self-discipline part of our daily lives, the result we seek will be sporadic and elusive. It takes a consistent effort to truly manage our valuable time, or we will be consistently frustrated. Our time will be eaten up by others whose demands are stronger than your own. It takes discipline to conquer the nagging voice in our minds, the fear of failure, the fear of success, the fear of poverty, the fear of a broken heart. It takes discipline to keep trying. When that nagging voice within us brings up the possibility of failure, it takes discipline to admit our errors and recognize our limitations. The voice of human ego speaks to all us sometimes. The voice of ego says that we should modify our values beyond our results. It leads us to exaggerate, to not to be loyally honest. It takes discipline to be totally honest, both with ourselves and with others. It takes discipline to change a habit, because habits are formed a little bit each day, every day. Once habits are formed, they act like a giant cobble. It's like nearly unbreakable instinct that only long-term discipline activity can change. You just have to go home and make a list. After today, here is the question to ask you as you make this personal list. What am I not doing that would be easy to do, that could greatly change my health, my wealth? What am I neglecting that would be easy to do? Just go home and answer the question personally. You don't have to put the answers on a public bulletin board. This is just all personal stuff. But here is how you get a miracle going for your life. Number 1, do what you can. Get the list of the stuff you could do and you haven't done. Postpone it or start cleaning that up. You cannot start at a better place for personal change, and that'll affect your bank account, affect your future, affect your income, affect everything. You cannot start a better life change process than cleaning up what you should do. Doing. The man says, well, my mother lives down in Florida. Shouldn't have written 6 months ago. I just can't seem to get that letter written. I'm asking you to get that letter written. Clean that up and don't walk like the other people. Walk. Don't postpone like other people. Postpone. You say, well, it's as simple as writing a letter, and the answer is yes. Where else would you start for this? Life change. Personal change. Number 2, do the best you can. If that's not your philosophy, I would ask you to amend it. Let me give you the best of ancient script. Here is what it says. Whatever your hands find to do, do it with your all might. Do it with your all strength. And do it with all your power. What a good philosophy. That kind of philosophy can revolutionize your life if you haven't picked it up lately. The guy splays in late, comes late, doesn't seem to mind, splays it out early. First one in big packing lot heading for happy hour, stretches his break, come early for lunch, late back for lunch, company doesn't seem to notice. Guys says, beat as I can calculate. I'm putting in about a half a day work and in collecting a full day's pay. Little does he know the seeds of his own disaster are already being sown by the weakness of other personal philosophy. It's not the economy that's gonna determine your next 6 years. It's your philosophy about labor, about activity, about miracle and soil and seeds and sunshine, and train the economy and the banks and the money and the companies and the schools. What's going on? It's your philosophy and your attitude, and then your ability to take action. All of that we call the process of life change. Miracle working, consistent self-discipline. Set up a discipline when the emotions are high and the ideas strong and clear and powerful. That's the time to set up the discipline. Somebody talks about good health and you're steered, right? I need to get a book on nutrition. Get a book before the ideas passes, before the emotion gets cold. Go for the book. Start the library. Start the process. Fall on the floor. Do some push-up action. We've got to take action. Otherwise, the wisdom is wasted. Otherwise, the emotion soon passes unless you put it into a disciplined activity. Capture a discipline. It's called how to capture the emotion and how to capture the wisdom and translate it into equality discipline. You start walking around the block. It'll inspire you to get an apple. Get an apple. It'll inspire you to get a book. It'll inspire you to get a journal. Get a journal. It'll inspire you to grow, develop some skill. All disciplines affect each other. Every lack affects the rest. Every new affects the rest. The key is to diminish the lack and set up the new, and you've started a whole new life process. Here is the greatest value of discipline: self-worth, self-esteem. People are teaching self-esteem these days, but they do not connect to disciplines. The slightest lack of discipline starts to erode our psyche. One of the greatest temptation is to just ease up a little bit, right? The slightest lack of doing your best starts to erode the psyche. And instead of doing your best, doing just a little less than your best. Sure enough, you say, well, it's just doing an effect my cells. It's gonna affect your conscientious. It's gonna affect your philosophy. Now you've begun in the slightest way to affect your own philosophy. Here's the another side of discipline. If there is a considerable time that passes between the moments of awareness and the time of our implementation, then it's called procrastination. Procrastination, doing it tomorrow instead of today. Procrastination, an almost exact opposite of discipline. The voice within us says, get it done. Discipline then says, do it now. Do it the best of your ability today, tomorrow, and always, until finally a worthy deed becomes instinctive. Procrastination says, later, today, tomorrow, whenever I got the chance. Procrastinating also says, so what is necessary to get it by or to impress others. Do what you can, but not what you must. In every circumstances we face, we're constantly presented in those two. Now or do it. Discipline and procrastination. A choice between a disciplined existence, bearing the fruit pursuit of achievement and consistent, and procrastination. The easy life for which the future will bear no fruit, only the bare of branches of mediocrity. The rewards of a disciplined life are great, but they're often delayed until some time in the future. The rewards of the lack of discipline are immediate, but they're minor in comparison to the immersible reward of consistent self-discipline. An immediate reward for lack of discipline is fun today at the beach, and future reward of discipline is owning a beach for most. We list today pleasure rather than tomorrow fortune. So how can you get rid of easy distraction? How can you keep your mind on what you're trying to do? How can you keep in mind of doing it all and doing it now? Now, can you make the choice or discipline over procrastination? How can you stay focused on your ambitions? How can you avoid conversation at a water cooler? You can keep your focus on your work. You can get it done today instead of tomorrow. You've got to really work on your consistent self-discipline. On a daily basis, you will find yourself distracted by negative thoughts, distracted by negative people, distracted by water cooler chatter, and pretty soon, depending on type of people you've associated with, distracted by your thought within yourself. Never underestimate the power of influence and association, and never underestimate the power of your own consistent self-discipline. Now let's take a closer look at discipline, at the 3 steps to becoming disciplined. First, true discipline. Discipline is not the easiest option. Most people would rather sleep until dagger than get up at 6 a.m. It's easier to go to bed late, sleep late, television than open a book. It's easier to do just enough than to do it all. Waiting is always easier than acting. Trying is always easier than doing. Imagine what life would be like if you didn't have to make your beds in the morning, or keep your garage clean, or pay our taxes, or show up for work tomorrow. Wouldn't be fascinating? What do you suppose would become of us? Not much. For whatever the reason, the system we live in contribute to is designed to make an easier thing in life and most unprofitable. Profitable seems to the most difficult our world, and is always will be a constant battle between the life of ease and its momentary rewards and life of discipline and its far more significant rewards. Each has its own price, the price of discipline for the price of regret. The second lesson of discipline is that it's full of time activity, and we've said that the best form of discipline is consistent self-discipline. You see, the discipline that it takes it more, but every day it's the same discipline necessary to success in the world of business. The discipline to organize your garage, the same discipline to organize your business. All disciplines carry through to affect all parts of our lives. If we're disciplined in just one area and lazy in another, guess what? Pretty soon the lazy side will creep and destroy the disciplined side. The bad habits in one area of your life will eventually destroy our self-discipline in the area we've been working on. Consistency cannot be inconsistent. Discipline is the mind being trained to control. Discipline is a set of standards we impose on ourselves, a personal code of conduct. Once we adopt those standards, we commit to honoring them, and if you don't, there can be no disciplined activity. The third step to becoming consistently self-discipline is a philosophy that holds one of the life's unique promises. For every disciplined effort, there is a multitude and multiple rewards. Everything of value requires discipline. Children, for instance, requiring unwavering and constant discipline to understand what's right and wrong, acceptable behavior and boundaries. The most valuable from discipline is the one we impose on ourselves. Don't wait until things deteriorate so drastically that someone else must impose discipline into your life, my life. The life of each of one of us is going to severe and serve either a warning or an example. In the end, it's your own discipline that acts as a magic catalyst to give substance and depth to your ambition, to achieve your own plans and dreams. Humans also need words. Words nourish the mind, give life, and create insight. The mind needs to be exercised, refined, and stimulated by debate. We need both sides of the human drama represented. That's why we study both good and evil, health and illness. We need to give voice to both sides of the issues to strengthen our own arguments. Our personal philosophy needs to be develop so we can see the opportunity of other sides and we can examine those opportunities. It's the twin challenge in developing ideas and philosophy and strengthening of it. The battle of the mind is significant for us every day. What to think, what not to think. It's a continuous process of growth and development, a journey toward maximizing opportunities and avoiding danger, both within ourselves toward maximizing opportunities and avoiding danger, both within ourselves and in the world around us. Mr. Schaff's advice to stand guard at the door of your mind is invaluable. It remains that we have the power to decide what enters our minds and ultimately shapes our future. We must be wary of the negative thoughts and self-doubt that can steal our promise and potential. Instead, we should strengthen the positive side of our internal dialogue, nurturing healthier, stronger, and wiser mindset each day. Engaging in the debates of life, what to eat, where to go, what to say, what to do requires us to fortify our minds with positive reinforcements. By doing so, we build a shield against negativity and with positive reinforcement, distraction that could hinder our personal development and future success. Building a robust mental library is essential. It consists of visual resources such as videos and auditory resources like podcasts or audiobooks. However, it's crucial not to consume only mental candy, superficial or entertaining content. Instead, we should seek out diverse perspectives, debate ideas, and form all our conclusions. It's also essential to give ourselves the chance to change and refine our philosophers as we grow. Our libraries should reflect our dedication to personal development, showing that we're willing to learn, debate, and evolve to achieve our goal. In the end, it's daily discipline, the small, consistent action that make the most significant difference in our life. By committing these disciplines, we can chart a course toward our desired future, avoiding disillusionment and ensuring that we arrive where we truly want to be. Now is the time to fix the next 10 years. Sometimes we need to confront reality and truth head on. When I met Mr. Schaff, I was 25 and he was 44. Bringing a wealth of experience and asking me tough questions, he posed the pivotal question: are they reading the books that will take you where you want to go in the next 5 years? It's a brilliant statement. You're either engaged in the discipline or not. We must avoid disillusionment, hoping without acting, wishing without doing. The key to assess where you are and what changes you can make to ensure we're taking daily steps toward our desired treasures. Mental, personal, spiritual, and financial coaching can be invaluable. Taking time out to listen to someone's experience and ideas can lead to moments of correction that prompt positive change in our life. Over the next 1, 3, or 5 years, we'll all need inspiration, but it often stems of self-motivation. Waiting for someone else to turn us on isn't strategy. We must draw emotional vitality from life changes and opportunities. Let others lead small lives, cry over minor hurts, and argue over non-essentials, but not us. We should deal in things that matter and ensure our actions stem from our own conclusions, not blind followership. Moreover, being happy with what we have while pursuing what we want is a great challenge. Developing our lifestyle involves appreciating the finer thing in life, studying the arts, and reaching for the best within the time we have available. It's not about the amount, but the imagination. Choosing to be somebody who's wise, strong, and kind. Mr. Schaff thought the importance of lifestyle, even in small action like tipping the show line boy, becoming the two-quarter person, and finding joy in the greater person are becoming exemplifying life in style. In life, the pull is often in the opposite direction, but by making small changes, setting higher standard, and choosing to live with style, we can negative through and emerge virtuous in the journey ahead. Success is learning to move in the opposite direction of the normal negative role. It's about overcoming the downward of trend that life often presents with us. Life, like seeds, spring forth by moving against gravity. It pushes its way up against the pull of the soil. Similarly, success involves moving against the natural pull, negatively, and mediocrity. Consider the origin of the word tip, which originally stood for the ensure promptness. If you ensure good service, we should give the tip up front, ensuring a positive experience. Life is still also about balance, nurturing relationship, cultivating friendship, and cherishing family. Those values add depth and richness to our life. far beyond material wealth. Success is not about the amount, but the attitude, an attitude of continuous improvement and appreciation for this blessing. It starts with changing our philosophy, our mindset, and our habits. The key is not neglecting to do the easy thing that leads to success, for neglect leads to a downward spiral that affects every aspect of our life. Discipline is crucial. It affects every area of our life, and every action matters. The smallest action taken consistently can lead to profound changes. The greatest value of discipline lies in its ability to enhance our self-worth and self-esteem. By doing our best consistently, we strengthen our character and influence, ultimately creating our best selves as a journey of self-discovery, personal growth, and transformation. It starts with a decision to take control of our life and continue with goal setting, cultivating a positive mindset, and practicing self-care. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, and every victory, no matter how small, it's worth celebrating. So embrace the journey, appreciate the blessing, and never stop evolving into the best version of yourself.